Hi, my name is Sanchari and this is Kitchen Tales. Today I plan to be baking a lot of Christmas cookies. The list of cookies are vanilla crescent, black and white pinwheel cookies, gingerbread cookies, black and white star cookies. In fact, there's a pretty long list of Christmas cookies that I plan to bake. So I will try to divide this video up into chapters so you can move ahead and go to the particular cookie that you would like to specifically see. We're going to start with vanilla crescents. I'm using 330 grams of all-purpose flour, 90 grams of icing sugar, 100 grams ground walnuts, a teaspoon of baking powder, 2 egg yolks, and 230 grams of room temperature butter. We're going to mix this up. I'm also adding 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Now mix this into a dough. So this is as far as it will go, and now you have to put it together by hand. So we'll just take it out. Just want to make sure that it's all come together, that all the butter and everything is in it. Just put this in a plastic wrap. So it's labeled vanilla crescent. Now this gets put in the fridge. I've gotten it out of the fridge. So this needs to go into the oven at 170 degrees top and bottom heat and at 140 degrees fan based. This needs to be just a little bit softened so that I can roll it out. The vanilla crescents, they don't need to be too brown. In fact, maybe I'm thinking 14 minutes may be a bit too long. I'm going to wait for it to cool a little and then I'll put it in the icing sugar that we have made. So we're going to just make sure that they're nicely covered in the sugar. Alright, so we're now going to make the dough for the gingerbread cookies. It's called Gewürzplätzchen, so spiced cookies basically. 250 grams of flour, half a teaspoon of baking powder to it. I'm going to just mix this up a little so that the baking powder is mixed in. To this I'm going to add some spice mix. So again, this is just a Christmas spice mix. I have about 2 teaspoons of it, 120 grams of sugar, 1 pack of vanilla sugar, which is basically something that I get ready-made here. It's about 8 grams of vanilla sugar. If you don't have that, you can just use vanilla extract and a little bit of extra sugar if you need. Then I have a mix of butter and coconut fat, 170, only because I'm running out of butter. Like, not running out, but basically I have some coconut fat, so I thought I might as well use it, because you could also use margarine instead. 3 to 4 tablespoons of heavy cream, and then 50 grams of ground walnuts. Mix it on the lowest setting first while the butter kind of mixes up, and then slowly start to increase the speed. And then leave it be until it forms into a dough. I'm going to take this out. Just make sure it's nicely put together. All the butter, because I use coconut fat, make sure all the thing is mixed in. You have to make a log of it, because you're going to cut them into cookies that way. The Gewürz cookies are more like spiced cookies. I had that wrong. It's not gingerbread cookies. It's a mix of various different types of spices, as you've seen. And so that's why Gewürz means spices. So it's basically a spiced cookie. So we're going to start baking these now. And it's best to keep these cookies, the cookie dough, as cold as possible, so that when you cut it, it maintains its shape. So let's get into it. We're going to put this in the oven at 160 degrees fan or 180 degrees top and bottom heat, 10 to 12 minutes. Alright, we're now going to start making the dough for the pinwheel cookies. So that's the black and white cookies. It's a little bit more complicated than the other cookie doughs, but we'll get through it. So to start with, we're using 250 grams of flour, 1 teaspoon of baking powder. We have 150 grams of sugar, and we're using 1 pack of vanilla sugar, which is about 8 grams. If you don't have vanilla sugar, you can always put just vanilla extract. Pinch of salt. A little bit of rum aroma. I don't have rum aroma, so I'm just going to use 1 tablespoon of actual rum. You can instead just put in vanilla extract if you don't want any alcohol smell. And we're going to use 1 medium-sized egg. All the eggs in all these cookies are medium-sized. 125 grams of coconut fat or butter, whatever you prefer to use. Now to mix this and make the dough. First on low setting and then slowly increase the speed. This is my white one. Add about 15 grams of cocoa powder, grams of sugar, and about 3 to 4 teaspoons of milk. Now put this back on to mix. The rest you might need to mix it yourself. And that's the Pinwheel black. Actually looks pretty good. It is nice and chocolatey. Now to the fridge with it. So we are now going to start using the dough for the Pinwheel cookies. Taking the dough out of the fridge, they're still pretty hard. I'm going to wait a little bit and then we will start to work with them. I'm going to half the doughs first. I'm going to put this aside while I do the next one, the black one. Now I have the egg white of one egg. So put that on it. So I just microwaved about 1.5 tablespoons of strawberry jam. Well, the ends make sort of cookie shape. And this goes into the oven at 160 degrees fan or 180 degrees top and bottom heat Celsius. First batch ready to go into the oven. So we're going to make the dough for the black and white star cookies. 200 grams of flour, 1 teaspoon of baking powder. I'm going to mix this up a little so that the baking powder is mixed in. To this we're going to add 50 grams of corn flour. Then I've got 150 grams of margarine, 75 grams of sugar, and 1 pack of vanilla sugar. I get that in a pack. If you can't get it, you can just add vanilla extract, pinch of salt, and 1 medium-sized egg. So we're going to make this into a dough. So on a low setting first and then on a higher setting. This gets into a packet and into the fridge with it. Then I'm going to start to do the black and white stars. I've taken it out of the fridge, and this needs to be rolled out, cut into shapes, and then baked. So let's start doing that. I've got a star shape. Okay, now that I have that, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I have 12 here, and I'm going to make holes in all 12 of them because the ones with holes in them get baked sooner. And then I've got to do 12 which are full. I'm going to put this in the oven at 160 degrees fan and for about 8 minutes. So it's been 8 minutes. Looks like maybe the ones with the holes need a little bit less time perhaps. We are going to take about 200 grams of chocolate that's been chopped into pieces, and in that I'm going to put about a tablespoon and a half of any neutral oil. Put this in the microwave and heat it. That aside for the time being. What I'm going to do is the cookies that have the holes in them, I'm going to sieve some icing sugar over them. The ones without the holes in them will have the chocolate on them. So basically I'm using the leftover icing sugar from my vanilla crescents. So I've got a paper towel underneath this to catch all the remaining sugar. So the last thing to do is to add some orange peel. I get that in a packet like this. Put it in with the chocolate, melted chocolate. I'm just going to use the whole packet because it will give it a really intense smell. So just mix that up. And then into the holes of each of the cookies, you put this in. So just as much as can fit. And after that, you just take some gold dusting and dust it over the cookies. And that's it, star cookies.